Hello, so welcome to another video. You might have seen that the One Piece live action has finally dropped, and with a lot of people scrambling to make, reviews and theory videos, I just wanted to make a video sharing my thoughts on the thing. Anyway, this video is not going to be scripted at all because I decided to go with, what I'm thinking, and if I actually scripted the video, I would have to filter out a lot of things, and I didn't want to do that, and also maybe because I'm lazy. Without further ado, subscribe, and here's my thoughts on the One Piece live action. So before the months leading up to watching the live action and it actually coming out, I didn't really have a lot of high hopes for the One Piece live action. Mainly because Netflix don't really have a good success rate in creating good live actions. I watched the teaser trailer that was released months ago and I thought that it didn't look that bad. But at the same time, Netflix created many trailers like Cowboy Bebop and Death Note that looked really good. And when the actual shows just came out, they completely dropped the ball. So when the One Piece trailer looked half decent, I thought to myself that, the trailer looks pretty good, but at the same time, so many other trailers looked really good and were crap when the show actually came out. So when I watched the trailer for the One Piece live action, I was watching it through very, pessimistic eyes, if I'm being honest. Because, I didn't want to raise my hopes, and in the words of MJ, if you don't have any expectations, you can't really be disappointed. And that's what my thought process was coming into the live action. And upon watching it, because I didn't have any expectations, watching it was actually pretty good. It was actually refreshing. It was the first time when I watched the live action and thought to myself, this is half decent, which is a crazy thought considering how many live actions that actually come out and Netflix, personally made. One Piece was the only one that I thought was actually worth watching. That being said, it's not like I liked everything about the live action. In fact, there's a lot of things that I did like and a lot of things that I did not like. One of the things that I liked was, generally I liked the fact that they didn't really go one-to-one with the anime or the manga. They did change a couple of scenes here and there, and for the most part, I really liked it because, in my opinion, if you went one-to-one with the source material, what would really be the point of watching the live action? If you went one-to-one, then you could just watch a superior anime or the manga that's like right there and don't have to worry about the live action. Because they changed some of the nuances in the scenes, there's actually value in watching the scenes. The Nami scene in Morgan's base never really happened, but it does in this live action, so it's actually worth watching this new dynamic between Luffy and Nami. However, one of the changes that I did not like was the fact that they made Kid Luffy a completely different character. In the anime or the manga, Luffy as a child is just like Luffy as an adult or grown up. He's just as goofy and, dumb and stupid. But in the live action, for some reason, Luffy grown up, played by Inaki Godoy, is pretty goofy and, stupid just like his original counterpart in the anime and manga, but as a kid in the live action, he's very serious. There's not one point where he does anything stupid or dumb and for the purpose of, making the audience laugh. He's a very serious kid through and through. The only times you laugh is when Shanks makes a joke here and there in Luffy's backstory. But for the most part, Luffy as a child was very serious and I didn't like that. In the original, Luffy as a child is a very goofy kid and he grows up and he still is a goofy kid. He's always stupid. But in the live action, Luffy as a child is a very serious, deadpan child and he grows up to be, the goofy Luffy that everyone loves. And I didn't really like that change because what's the point of changing, that character? Luffy is supposed to be, not serious and dumb all the time. I didn't like the fact that him as a child, he was always a pretty serious child in the backstories of the live action. And personally, that just wasn't my cup of tea. Maybe if they made Luffy as very goofy as a kid in the live action, maybe it would have sucked. But I don't know that, and personally, I didn't really take to that version of Luffy. But one thing that I did like, that actually not just liked, but loved, was, the white shots in the live action. One Piece is a show about pirates. Pirates work in the ocean, and no matter how big a pirate ship is or how strong an enemy is, in the end of the day, the strongest foe in One Piece isn't a character or a ship or a monster. It's the ocean. The ocean is by far the strongest enemy to all pirates in One Piece. It is what makes One Piece so grand. It's what makes me drawn to the show because how huge this world can be. And the live action really did a good job in showing that. There's a lot of wide shots of cities and oceans and ships being in the ocean, and you can really see how small these ships were. In close-up, these ships look huge, and by definition they are, but then when you go pan out in a wide shot, you see how small they are in compared to the uncontrollable, everlasting, and almost seemingly infinite ocean. And to me, and that was perfect. One Piece, no matter how big an enemy or a ship can be, the ocean is always the biggest challenge and foe for any pirate in the show. And that was done pretty well in the live action, in my opinion. The wide shots of some of the shots that was done of the cities and wide shots of the ocean, of sunsets and whatnot, looked really good. And personally, I think they fucking nailed, that part of One Piece. Lastly, I want to talk about what this really means for live actions going forward. The One Piece live action actually showed that it's not impossible to create a half-decent show. Even if you're adapting something that is so vastly better than what you're going to be able to make it, you could still make a very decent and good thing from the source material. And that's One Piece. Most people will probably agree that the live action is not as good as the manga, but at the same time, a lot of people will agree that it's actually refreshing watching the live action. Even if you watch the manga or the anime, even if you read the manga or the anime, the live action is still worth watching. And that's something that's really impressive that the team have done. It shows that when you actually care and give two shits about making something that's good, you can actually make it good. Going forward, does this mean that every single live action is gonna be great? No, of course not. Chances are the next live action is probably gonna be just terrible. But to those making the live actions, it shows that it can be done, and this is a very good example for others that come upon adapting a new live action. I don't really know if this is true. Once again, this is really unscripted, but I have read somewhere that apparently a Yu Yu Hakusho live action is going to be made, and for me personally, Yu Yu Hakusho is much more dear to my heart than One Piece is, and so I hope that whoever is in charge of, making that come into life, hopefully looks at the One Piece live action and kind of takes inspiration from some of the things they've done. Not everything has to be one-to-one, not everything has to be exactly perfect, but as long as you create and capture the essence of a show, you can really make something really good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if the rumors of a Yu Yu Hakusho live action is true, hopefully they can make it half decent, just like this One Piece live action. Overall, in my opinion, this One Piece live action is a 7.5 out of 10. A pretty solid rating compared to my other ratings for the other live actions, which is not something that I want to share because they're really low and bad. Anyway, with that being said, this video was really just a small little short 5 to 10 minute discussion about, One Piece and the live action that I found half decent compared to everything else that was made. With that being said, subscribe because I think I'm gonna do more, unscripted videos because it allows me to kind of just share my thoughts without really filtering anything out. And hopefully the video doesn't turn out that bad and you can actually enjoy it. So yeah, subscribe, eat a cookie, and I'll see you shut-ins next time. Yeah, bye.